He endured a long, lonely plod towards extinction as the last of his kind, but there are now hopes a species of giant tortoise feared to have died out could now be resurrected. Lonesome George, a saddleback giant tortoise from Pinta Island in the Galapagos Islands, was thought to be the last hope of his species when he died at the age of over 100 in 2012. But recent research has suggested it may be possible to bring the animals back from the dead after scientists discovered long-lost relatives of the tortoise living on a nearby island. Researchers have captured 2 tortoises, one male and one female, which DNA tests have shown are related to the tortoises from Pinta Island. The animals were living on the slopes of Wolf Volcano on the northern end of Isabella Island in the Galapagos. Who was Lonesome George? Thought to be around 100 years old, Lonesome George had become a symbol for the plight of the wildlife on the Galapagos Islands off the coast of Ecuador. The unique flora and fauna on the islands had helped to inspire Charles Darwin's theories on evolution. But decades of exploitation and the introduction of invasive species have taken their toll. George was the last of a subspecies of giant tortoise that lived on Pinta Island. He was only discovered plodding around on the island in 1972. With no offspring and no other known members of his subspecies, he became famous as the world's rarest creature. His plight led to a series of ill-fated attempts to provide him with a mate, with environmentalists trying to get the Pinta Island tortoise to reproduce with females from a similar subspecies. The 14-stone tortoise lived for 15 years at a breeding center on the archipelago's island of Santa Cruz and got on famously with 2 females from the Wolf Volcano, but the eggs they produced were infertile. 2 females from Spanish Islands tortoise colony, thought to be even closer to him in genetic makeup, were also placed with him, but again it proved fruitless. With his distinctive saddleback shell and a pose where he extended his long legs and neck whenever humans drew near, he became a popular attraction. He died in 2012 without producing a heir. In total, the expedition to Wolf Volcano, which took place at the end of November, managed to capture 32 giant saddleback tortoises living on the island. These will also be DNA tested to check for any relationship with tortoises from other islands. They are being kept at the Tortoise Center on Santa Cruz, where they will form part of a new breeding program. According to the Galapagos Conservancy, which has been helping to lead the project, the expedition managed to tag 1,323 tortoises in total. Most seem to belong to the native Wolf Volcano species, but around 100 had the distinctive saddleback that Lonesome George had, including some males. Blood samples were taken from all of these and they will now be genetically tested. Due to how long tortoises live, they are thought to be able to live up to 200 years old. Some of these could even be direct thoroughbred relatives of George himself, they said. The researchers are now planning to go back to the island to look for more tortoises. Before his death, there had been extensive efforts to get Lonesome George to breed with other closely related females from nearby island, but they were unsuccessful. However, with DNA from his species surviving in living animals, it may make the job of reviving the species possible. Scientists also froze cells and DNA taken from George in the hope it could also be used in the future to help resurrect his species. A statement released by the Galapagos National Park Directorate said, "This project is one of the most ambitious species recovery efforts ever attempted, and will ultimately restore 2 extinct species and as well as the ecological integrity of Pinta and Floriana Islands."